All right, perfect. Well, what we'll do then is we will get started. So today's webinar is recorded. So anybody that hops on afterwards can definitely see any of this before, if they miss it, they can always see it later. But I do want to say welcome to everybody who's on, and thank you so much. Good morning. Thank you for attending today's webinar, where we kind of go over a new feature and also an enhancement to an existing feature. So today we are going to go over the inspection to work order workflow and a new improvement that we've done to that, as well as a proposal enhancement. Before we get started, just some introductions here. My name is Jennifer Doyle. I'm a co-founder and the VP of Customer Success here at InspectPoint. And Katie Doyle, our product manager, is going to be walking us through these enhancements and these feature updates. One thing is if you've been on a webinar in the past, we love questions, right? It's a great way for you to, now is the best time for you to kind of get those questions out. So if you do have any questions, there is a Q&A area inside Zoom here. So if you drop your questions in there, we will try to get to as many as we can in the allotted time that we have. So I'll be going through those at the end. Before I hand this over, though, to Katie, I just kind of want to go over, like, why are you here, right? Why is this exciting? So we kind of broke it down for you a little bit. So the inspection to work order workflow, what is it, right? Why are we showing it to you? Well, we want to show you that now when a technician marks a correction as done on site, a work order will automatically generate. And why do you want to use this? Why is it important? Because at the end of the day, this is going to end up saving you time and money. There's no need to click out of the inspection to go to the work order, to come back into the inspection, to go back to the work order. Everything is in one, visit, one area. And there's also no need to call to the office to have the office create that work order and dispatch that out. It can just be created right when you're doing the inspection. This is going to be available in our early April release. And then just one thing to note is that because this has to do with our work order module, this feature is available, this enhancement, this update is available to our users on the Platinum plan. Now, also what we're going to be going over is our proposal enhancements. So what this is really the ability for the technicians in the field to be able to add more detail to that proposal when they're on site. And if they're online, they can actually share the proposal with the customer and have the customer accept the proposal right there on site. This is great because it expedites the entire proposal process, right? There's no going and having it go back to the office to then be emailed out to the customer, to then have the customer, approve it. You have the customer in front of you, get approval right then and there. And it can potentially increase your revenue because it's at top of mind right then and there while your customer is standing there with the technician. This will also be part of our early April release. And because this has to do with our proposal module, this is available to all of our customers that are on the Gold and Platinum. So this way you can have them, enable it so they can create the proposals in the field as well. So I am done talking for right now. I am going to hand it over to Katie. So let me just give Katie you approval. I'm going to stop sharing. And I am going to kick it over to you.
Awesome. All right, can everyone see my screen here?
I can see it.
Awesome, there we go. So thanks so much, Jen. We're gonna take these features for a spin now, starting with the inspection to work order workflow. So as Jen described, this new workflow is a great way for technicians to quickly and easily create work orders while on site. So this is really useful when the tech identifies an issue that they know they can fix while they're already at the building doing the inspection. So in this example, we're going to walk through an annual wet sprinkler inspection, but this really works well for any inspection type as well. So as you can see on my iPad, here we are at our building, Resurrection Medical Center. And as I said, let's imagine we're doing a wet sprinkler inspection here today. I'm going to go ahead and press inspect to begin my inspection. So let's imagine that, I'm here on site, and as I'm doing the inspection, I notice that the FDC sign is missing. I know I have one in my truck, which means that I can get that all taken care of while I'm here. So I can click into my corrections here and go to find my FDC sign. So we see this work completed on site toggle. I'll toggle that on and I see this message work order. Looks like you're doing a work on site. This will create a work order. I press OK, save. Now I see that item up at the top of my screen here with the icon that lets me know that this work was done on site. It's now going to show up as a service item on my new work order. Any other corrections not marked as done on site will, of course, flow through to my proposal, but this icon here lets me know that this one was done on site. So now I can click back, click review and complete, and proceed. And now I have direct access to my work order. So as Jen mentioned, no need to back out of the inspection. I can just click right here directly into my work order, and I can see that service item that I added right here because I had marked that done on site. So within this screen as well, I can quickly and easily add any other details I'd like to the work order. I can edit the problem description, the service description, enter any materials used. If there's any other service items that I would like to add, I can go ahead and do that, describe the work performed, input a time entry if I'd like to do so, and then go ahead and finish that up and collect signatures if I'd like, and send it back to the office as well if I'd like to do that as well, with the ability to indicate if follow-up was required. So as we said, everything is right here within this inspection screen. We can easily access the work order. So hopefully this will help your technician's workflow out in the field. We'll be jumping over to the proposal enhancements next, but as Jen mentioned, if any questions are top of mind around this, feel free to pop those in the Q&A, and then we can talk through in more detail when we wrap up the proposal enhancements. So we're in a great place here to go ahead and look at that proposal. So I'll click into proposal summary, and here we have some exciting updates to share. So on the fee summary tab here, we've made some design enhancements that make it really quick and easy for a technician to go ahead and add materials, propose corrections, line items, summary items, etc. So whereas the work order was used to mark that work done on site, here I can go ahead and use my proposal for anything that, I wasn't able to do when I was at the building doing the inspection. So let's say here that I noticed that a couple of gauges were missing. I can go ahead here and add 2 gauges to my proposal, and I'll go ahead and add an hour of labor as well. So here at the top of the screen, once again, we see the FDC sign with that icon letting me know that that was done on site. It won't appear on my proposal. Those other 2 items, those 2 gauges and the hour of labor, I can now see right here on my proposal. So just a heads up, in order for these to really work as intended, you'll want to have allowed your technicians to create proposals in the field and of course to see pricing as well. Ultimately that pricing is visible on the proposal itself, which, we'll see in just a couple of minutes. So just keep that in mind. And if there's any questions around that, Jen can speak to it in more detail. And of course, your customer success manager is always there to help out with questions related to that as well. So let's jump over to the proposal details tab. So this functionality allows the technician to quickly customize their proposal right in the field. So they can select from default text that you as a backend user can add in your backend instance to use for this proposal summary, scope of work, exclusions, and terms of conditions. So you can see here that already we have for scope of work, per inspection in the field showing up. For exclusions, we have sales tax there. So those can be selected as defaults via the back end. Once again, saving the tech, time and minimizing any questions while they're out in the field. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. And as long as I'm online, the tech can view and share the proposal right on the spot. So we can access our standard iOS sharing settings right from here. I could also download this proposal if I want to view it, share it in document form. And then, as Jen mentioned, the customer can sign and accept right on site. So all of the key proposal functionality available here on the iPad. So hopefully these updates will help you optimize your workflow while out in the field. We'd love to answer any questions you might have. And I think I'll just turn it back over to Jen to go over a couple of last logistics, housekeeping info before we open it up to questions.
Right. Awesome. Thank you, Katie. Let me just get my screen back up and running. This is always the fun part, right? The shuffle between the screens. Perfect. All right. So thank you so much, Katie, for going through that. As Katie mentioned, I've got some housekeeping logistics things. So just a reminder, this is going to be in our early April release. So just keep your eyes peeled for that early April release. And then also just a reminder about the tiers and how it sort of works and where each feature is kind of applicable. So that inspection to work order workflow is available to our Platinum users. And this functionality of having the work order live right inside the inspection will be automatically enabled for all Platinum users once that goes live. So we will handle all configurations on the back end for you. All you'll have to do is once it's available, have your technicians update their app, and then they will be able to do this workflow that we just went through. The marking something on site, having it be there, and really optimizing their time when they're in the field. For that gold and platinum, for that proposal enhancement, this will not be automatically enabled, as this is a configuration option that a lot of our customers will go through, right? Some people don't want pricing in the field. Some people do. Some people may not want the acceptance in the field. They may want it to come back to the office first. So this is an option that if you would like this enabled, once that April release goes live, just reach out to your CSM, your customer success manager here, and they'll be able to make the configurations if it's something that you're interested in enabling. Of course, though, right, if you are silver or gold and you really love what you just saw about work orders and you want to sort of upgrade or include that or discuss options, always reach out to your customer success manager. We can talk about what that upgrade would look like. We can talk to you about pricing and sort of some of your options that you have. Of course, though, you can always reach out to our product support team at support@inspectpoint.com. We're happy to answer any questions over there on the support side of it and get you in contact with anybody that you might need to speak with. So at this time, I'm done talking. So I am going to kind of pop up and see if there are any questions. If there are, like I said, feel free to drop them in the Q&A area. We won't be requiring that you ask any questions live. So don't worry about raising your hand and having to speak or anything along those lines. So please just drop them in that Q&A area. And we do actually have one. So Katie, I'm going to actually stop sharing my screen because I was wondering if you might be able to pull up the iPad for this one. So
yes, definitely.
So the question is that when we were creating the work order in the field, we pulled up service items, which are our proposed corrections. They were wondering if they're able to use materials as well. That's an option, I believe, out there. So just if you could pull up your iPad, we could walk through that.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Oops.
Okay, so if we could, okay, perfect. Proposed corrections. All right, can you hit that back arrow?
Yeah. Jump right into the work order if that's helpful.
Okay, perfect. Yep. And so with the service items, you would use materials used. That will give you your full material list in there as well. So your service items will be your proposed corrections, and your materials used right there would be from your material list. So that's right there. So the notice that was service items, not materials. And would they have to use service items? Not everybody uses service items or proposed corrections. So that is, if you have materials loaded in, how you would go about doing that. Are there any other questions? Okay.
And Catherine, did that answer your question? Just to make sure before we wrap up, you can go ahead and I guess just let us know in the chat if you have anything else you'd like to know, or pop that into the Q&A. And as Jen mentioned, we're always available at support@inspectpoint.com as well.
Okay, so we just got another question in. It's regarding pricing. So the question is, how and where is all pricing information loaded and updated as it changes? So all of that takes place in the back end of InspectPoint. So you have the ability to update your pricing depending upon what you're doing. So if you're using proposed corrections, you would update that there. If you're doing materials, you would update that in the respective materials area under service as well. So that does have to be updated in the back end, but any changes made in the back end will reflect on the iPad for the technician to see as well. So I hope that answered your question. I will, if you have any follow-up from that, just bring it back around, and I can definitely help with that. And then perfect, Catherine, I'm glad that helped. If you have any other questions or any follow-up to that, please just let us know. All right. All right, we have a question about billing the customer from the program. So there is a toggle to be able to create an invoice from it. So there is that option. It kind of depends. Billing is such a hyper-specific topic because it varies with every customer. So I can definitely follow up with you specifically on this one just to see sort of your workflow and sort of make sure that this would work for you if you're using our invoicing functionality as well. So I'll follow up on that one, but there is an option to toggle to create this into an invoice for work that it's done on site. All right, any additional questions? Oh, perfect. Yep. So there was a question. This is all being recorded. So if you did join late, no worries at all. All of this is recorded, and everyone will have access to this. We'll also be putting it up onto our YouTube channel as well. So if you have any questions or even want to share it with someone who couldn't attend today that's in your office, it'll be put up there, and we'll make sure all of you get access to it. All right, perfect. All right, well then what I'll do then is if there's any additional questions, I can stay on for a couple more minutes. I know this is how it always goes, right? You like log off of the webinar, boom, 10 questions come into your brain. So feel free to email support@inspectpoint.com with any of those questions. We're here to help you. If you're interested in any of this, please don't hesitate to reach out to support, like we mentioned. Also, your customer success manager who can help, discuss it with you, or any of the configurations that there may be as well. So with that, I'll stay on for a couple more minutes. But I'd like to thank everybody for joining today. Thank you, Katie, for doing that great run through of these new enhancements and features. And you guys will all get the recording shortly. So thank you so much for attending.